So I will go ahead and get started. Let's see. Here we go. So what is early college? Early college is the dual enrollment arm of the university. And when you apply for UA Early College, you can reach goals with a nationally recognized top 50 research university. When looking at dual credit, so dual credit is when you get high school and college credit. You can also stack this credit with AP, other dual enrollment organizations, so as a community college or something along those lines. Our courses are also very widely transferable. So we see that a lot of our credits transfer to most other universities and institutions. Some of our stats that we really like to point out, if you look at the elephant in the middle and at the top, you'll see that our GPA last year was a 3.6. We really like to brag about that because that is a college GPA. We also represent 46 states and 3 countries. So we have students from all of those that are in our program. I also like to point out, if you look at the top left where it's got the percentage of when the students begin, you'll see that sophomores are at 28%. They know that they can go ahead and get started. So students can start as early as the summer after 9th grade. But if you also look at that 32% for seniors, you'll see that the seniors know that it's not too late to get started. The very first course that you'd take with us is UAEC 200 College Readiness course. This is going to be the prerequisite, so you have to take it before any of the other courses. But this course is going to teach you how to take a college class. So in UAEC 200, you'll learn how to navigate Blackboard Learn, which is what lots of institutions use. You'll learn how to manage time, study skills, write a college level paper, and meet with an academic advisor. During that UAEC 200 session, you will be able to register for the other first academic course that you'd like to choose. Along with our UAEC 200 College Readiness course being completely free, you will be able to earn 2 college credits once you finish this course. It's about 5 weeks completely online. The only time that there is a set time where you and your student will have to be present is the first class meeting, and those usually start at about 6:30. So that first class meeting is the only time where you will have to be present with your student. Other than that, your student is able to work on this whenever they want to. There are deadlines, but in terms of when they're able to work on it is whenever they can. Students will spend about 4 to 6 hours per week, which is about less than an hour a day, depending on what their schedule looks like. So it's really not an overwhelming course. Here are some of our other course options for after they complete UAEC 200. As you'll see, we offer several basic courses, so your Englishes, your histories, computer science, but we also offer some really cool electives such as art history, women's studies, introduction to criminology, all types of things like that. Here is some of our support staff. So at the top left, you'll see those are our UAEC 200 professors. They are awesome, incredibly, you're able to communicate with them, and they are also very understanding of what kind of students they are working with. In the top right, you'll see the academic advisors. So for right now, the beautiful lady in the purple, Miss Pip, she is going to be your advisor, while the other beautiful lady on the far right, Miss Sierra Wyatt, is on maternity leave. So once Miss Wyatt gets back, she will resume to be your advisor. But for the time being, Miss Epiphany Wells Kelly will be your advisor. At the bottom left, you'll see what we call our student success coordinators. Our student success coordinators are people who really help keep you and your student accountable, mainly your student. So if they see that your student is getting below an 80 or missing a few assignments, they're going to reach out and try and set up an action plan to see how they can better help your students succeed. The bottom right is what we call our peer coaches. So our peer coaches are current UA, former early college students who have been in the same shoes your students are going to walk in. Are a good resource if a student is in a course and did an assignment but didn't completely get a good grade on it and thought that they did it correctly. They can reach out to the peer coaches and say, hey, how does this professor like this done? And the peer coaches can really give them that realistic advice based on each professor. So on the left is our support team, which I just mentioned. So I'm going to move over to our academic resources. Once your student is accepted into our program, they will have access to the Writing Center, which provides one-on-one consultations for students. They can set up appointments or they can just turn in their papers for revisement and for ideas on how to better fix it. They also will allow your students to turn in their high school papers. They have some really good resources also just for you and your students that don't necessarily involve them turning in their papers. They'll also have access to our university libraries. They will be able to have access to the in-person libraries, but also the online libraries 24/7. The Capstone Center for Student Success, that's going to offer tutoring, academic success workshops, and other resources to help support your student in their academic success. The last one is the Career Center, which helps students to decide what they maybe want to be when they grow up, or if they don't know, some skills that they have that they can use to do what they want to be when they grow up. Some of our benefits. So at 12 credit hours with our program, which is about 4 classes, they will be able to get priority admission to UA, which means they'll be able to get admitted without having to submit ACT or SAT scores, as long as they maintain a 2.75 GPA through our program. At 14 credit hours, your student will receive an honor cord for them to wear at graduation and be accepted into our UAEC Honor Society. At 17 hours, these hours must be earned before December of their senior year. They will be able to get priority housing as an incoming freshman. So that means they'll be able to pick their dorm first, have kind of first dibs at which dorm. Also, if they may get 12 hours and maintain a 3.5, they'll be eligible for honors college once they get to UA. Some other perks is they'll get earlier registration for courses, some advanced consideration for ticket packages, for athletics. That's a big one that we see kids really get their eyebrows up at. And they'll also be considered for the competitive alumni Ivory Tusk scholarship. That scholarship awards $2,000 to multiple UA early college students in their first year as a full-time UA undergrad. We're now going to move into the Elevate portion. So Elevate is the free dual enrollment scholarship program offered through the Tuscaloosa City Schools. It will cover tuition, books, fees for up to 9 credit hours. So that's about 3 or so classes. Make sure your student talks to their counselor about making sure they're opted in to Elevate, because that's really the first step that they'll have to do. The eligibility is that your student must have attended a city school, high school for at least 1 year, live in the residential attendance zone, and meet the university's minimum GPA requirements. So ours is going to be a 3.0. So as long as your student has a 3.0 and maintains it, they will still be Elevate eligible. For more information for how to opt into Elevate, where to find the resources, it's going to be this QR code and also this link right up here. So you'll be able to find all of that information on the Tuscaloosa City Schools website. Now we're going to hear from one of our awesome advisors, Miss Elisa Robinson. I think she's on here. If not, I'll move on. Let's see. Okay. I don't think she's on here, so we will just move on. Let's now get to the tuition and scholarship part. So UA Early College goes by the distance learning rate. So that would be $385 per credit hour. If you were doing the math for a 3-hour course, that would be about $1,200 a course. With in-state tuition, or your student being an in-state student, they get 50% off already. So that would be $192.50 per credit hour. But with Elevate, they get 100% tuition scholarship for those 3 credit hours. So after those, or 9 credit hours, excuse me. So after those 9 hours, they will still be eligible for the 50% tuition scholarship, which is what you'll see right here. So if you are an in-state student who has used their 9 hours of Elevate and does not have a parent that is UA faculty or staff, you will be looking at about $577.50 per course. If your student or you or your partner are UA faculty or staff, your student will get it completely free. So not only do y'all get that half tuition, but that other half tuition that you get for being in early college is covered. And as you'll see on the right column, the Elevate tuition completely paid. Here are our steps to apply. So the first thing you'll do is go to our website, so uaearlycollege.ua.edu, and the requirements are to have a 3.0 GPA, have completed the 9th grade, and have your counselor submit your high school transcript. So once you opt in to Elevate, you'll be able to have your application fee waived. And that is what this will look like right here. So when you get to the application and you get down to the part where it says additional information and it asks for the application fee waiver and you say yes, this drop down will show you the Elevate waiver. That will allow you to go ahead and get your application in without having to have a payment. So our upcoming UAEC 200 session, which I definitely suggest you go ahead and take advantage of, especially if you're a senior, the deadline is this Friday. But do not fret because it's very easy to apply. So just by then, have your application in and your counselor submit your transcript, and that session will start October 17th. So as I mentioned earlier, the only session that will be required for both you and your student to participate is this one on October 17th at 6:30. Once your student finishes this session, they will be eligible for our other full-time courses starting in January. So that slide that had all the other courses on it, they'd be able to start taking those as early as January. Here are some of our other UAEC 200 start dates. So if you say, oh, the fall's still a little busy, don't worry. We have a January session, which the students would then be able to start taking courses in spring too. Now, we don't offer near as many courses in spring too, and they're going to be a lot more quick. They're going to be a lot less time and the same amount of work. So I would definitely suggest going ahead and doing October, or if that January, not just because you do the January doesn't mean you have to start spring too. That's just when you can. But we also have the March session, which they can start as early as summer 1 or summer 2, and then our other 2 summer sessions, which they'd be able to start in the fall. If your student is a current freshman, the earliest one they'll be able to take is this June 20th session. And if your student goes ahead and fills out their application and puts in their grad year, it'll only show them that session for being available for them to take. One of our other programs that we really like to brag about is Summer on Campus. So Summer on Campus is where students will move into a dorm, either summer 1 or summer 2 or both, enroll in 2 classes, live in a dorm with other UAEC students. They have RAs. The awesome lady who puts it on, she is like a mama bear. They are not going to be getting away with anything. The students will be able to work out at the rec center, use campus transportation, use dining dollars, and they have required study hours every week. We also have really fun activities. So we'll have movie nights, game nights, all types of stuff like that students will be able to participate in. If your student is a senior and chooses to do Summer on Campus summer 2 term, they will be able to go ahead and move right into their dorm once they finish Summer on Campus. There's a Summer on Campus application that will become available once they finish UAEC 200. So this is our contact page. As you'll see, there's our social media and our office phone number, our email address, and our website. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, let us know, and we would be happy to help answer those questions for you.